Hello, I'm Brandon. Recently, I spent some time in Ecuador, down in the Amazonian rainforest. While I was there, I observed a land of much contrast. Some of the regions were beautiful, beyond so gorgeous. Hillsides were covered in trees, animals were abundant, much biodiversity, clean rivers. In other regions, the hillsides were barren. Large oil pipelines spanned the roads. The rivers were contaminated. So why the difference? How is the land managed? What policies create protection for some land and vulnerability for exploitation for others? While I was down there, I heard a story that took place in the 1970s. It began with a simple conversation between two men. One of them was an indigenous Quechua by the name of Francisco Tanguia, and the other was a Texas oil man who Francisco called El Caballero Blanco. During the conversation, El Caballero Blanco began to express concern about the changes that he foresaw happening within Ecuador. They began to discuss these changes and different problems that would soon be accompanying them, as well as solutions for how the Quechua people could adapt. Shortly after the conversation, Francisco made a decision, and he embarked on a journey that took a year to complete, in which he surveyed much of the Quechua land up in the Sucumbos region. After he returned, he began to organize, and with the help of the people, form an organization which is called UNAI. It's a legal entity that has ownership and offers protection for the land. So when I was in Ecuador, I began to see tangible results of these efforts. And much of the beautiful, pristine jungle that I observed was UNAI land. This is inhabited land. This is land where people live within the jungle, as their ancestors have for thousands of years. And so I began to make correlations between the environment and the people that inhabit the environment. Oftentimes, unoccupied land is the most vulnerable land. If a road cuts through the jungle, the land that has no protection from people living within it is the land that is vulnerable for purchase and resource extraction. The issue today is that many tribes do not have legal protection. They've lived out in the jungle, uncontacted. Within the last 10 years or so, roads have come to be very close to where they're living, and so now they're being forced from their land. I think it's time for a new conversation, a conversation which I wish to invite you to participate within. How do we protect the Amazon rainforest and protect the indigenous people that live within? Because the goal is one and the same.